But noise and performance do not have to fight each other. A loud rig usually means lazy airflow, bad fan curves, and zero planning. If you build or rebuild with silence in mind, you can have strong frame rates without the hairdryer soundtrack. Here's how to build a silent gaming PC without losing FPS. Start with the case. You want a chassis that breathes well and does not rattle. In 2025, that usually means a mesh front or hybrid case, not a fully sealed glass box. Look for multiple front intake mounts, a clean path from front to back, and room for large fans and coolers. Good airflow is what lets you run fans slower. Silence is easier when the case is not fighting the air. Next, choose your fans carefully. 2 or 3 quality 140mm fans or a few good 120mm fans. Moving air at low RPM are far better than a pile of cheap RGB screamers. Put intakes at the front, and if possible, the bottom. Put exhaust fans at the rear and top. Aim for slightly more intake than exhaust, so dust is controlled and air flows in a simple, front-to-back tunnel instead of swirling randomly. Your CPU cooler matters a lot for noise. A decent tower air cooler with a big heatsink and a slow, quiet fan can keep a mid or high-end CPU under control without sounding frantic. If you prefer an IEO, pick one known for a quiet pump and give it cool intake air. A noisy pump or tiny fan spinning at insane speeds will ruin any silence plan, no matter how good the rest of the build is. Now set sensible fan curves. Silence is not fans locked to 20% forever. It is fans stay slow until there is a real reason to speed up. In BIOS or fan software, set curves that keep fans near minimum at idle and in light work, then ramp smoothly as CPU or GPU time rise. Avoid steep sudden jumps that sound like the PC is constantly revving. You want a gentle whoosh under load, not sirens. The GPU is usually the loudest piece for gamers, so you win huge gains here. Many cards ship with aggressive stock fan curves and high power limits. A small undervolt can drop power and temperatures noticeably without costing meaningful FPS. Combine that with a custom GPU fan curve that starts slower and ramps more gradually, and the card stops panicking every time a menu hits very high FPS. You get almost the same performance with far less noise. Frame caps are your secret weapon. If you let the GPU render unlimited frames in menus and light scenes, it will chew power and blast fans for absolutely no benefit. Cap your FPS slightly above your monitor refresh rate or at a smooth, realistic number for your hardware. That single change can shave a lot of heat and noise while your experience actually feels better, not worse. Pay attention to your power supply as well. A quality PSU with efficient operation and a semi-passive fan mode will sit silent or nearly silent at low and medium loads. Cheap units with tiny, high RPM fans tend to whine even when the PC is idle. When possible, pick a PSU that only spins its fan when truly needed and stays cool and efficient under gaming loads. Inside the case, tidy cables to help both airflow and acoustics. Thick bundles blocking the front of the GPU or the CPU cooler force fans to work harder and create more turbulence. Root cables behind the motherboard tray, tie them down. And keep the center of the case as open as you reasonably can. Smooth airflow means fans can do the same cooling at lower RPM. Storage can add its own noise. SSDs are silent, but mechanical drives click, hum, and vibrate. If you keep hard drives for bulk storage, mount them with decent damping, and if your usage allows, let them spin down when not actively used. Put your OS and main games on SSD or NVMe so the noisiest drives can stay idle while you play. Where you place the case matters more than people expect. A tower sitting right next to your head on a bare desk will sound louder than the same PC slightly under the desk or a bit farther away on a stand. Just make sure you do not choke the front intake against a wall or solid panel. Give the case breathing room while also taking advantage of distance and soft surroundings. If you already have a loud build, retrofit silence step by step. First, clean dust and flip fans so intake and exhaust are correct. Second, redo fan curves for motherboard, case, and GPU so they ramp smoothly instead of spiking. Third, consider a gentle GPU undervolt and a sensible frame cap. Fourth, replace the worst offenders: a screaming stock cooler, a whiny PSU, or a set of garbage fans. The goal is not never hear the PC. The goal is, when I'm not gaming, it disappears, and when I'm gaming, it is a low, steady whoosh instead of a jet. With a good case, proper airflow, quiet fans, tune curves, GPU undervolt, frame caps, and decent power delivery, you can absolutely hit strong FPS without destroying your ears. If this gave you a clear plan for a quieter but still fast rig, follow and subscribe for more practical PC building and tuning guides.